My name is David Elliott, and I'm the owner of Construction and Planning Services Incorporated. Been around since 1966. One of the greatest satisfactions of framing is being able to see what you did every day. We got a big puzzle out there, and that's all it is, just this big puzzle. We really like what we do. It's really cool to be able to take that print and take it and turn it into something. It's not an easy trade, but it can be a very fulfilling trade. The process of framing goes basically like this. We come in once the foundation is ready. Once they get their rough end plumbing in and they pour the slab, they got all the walls poured, stripped, everything is waterproofed and backfilled. Now it's ready for the framer. As we approach it, the first thing we're going to do is we need to look at this building and make sure that everything is plumb and square for us. Our job is to take everything in front of us and make it apply to that foundation. Sometimes during the process of the pour, a wall can get moved out a little bit, things can get a little out of square. So our process is to square this building up and possibly shift a little bit this way or shift a little bit that way. Might add an inch or subtract an inch from the building in order to make it get on the foundation in the best way possible and stay within the reasonable dimensions of the print. So we cut all of our basement plates, we get all of our layout goes, it goes on. Everything in framing stacks. So all the bearing has to go up down. You just can't go willy-nilly with it. It all has to go up and down. At this point, we frame our down walls, we get all of our window ROs in, we get all that in and plumb and line it, and then we turn around and put our steel in the basement. Generally, we got steel beams in the basement. Sometimes they're wood beams, sometimes we do a bearing framed wall. Once we get that done, then we turn around and roll our joist system, our floor system out and plywood it, get our set of stairs down in. Sometimes if we have a finished basement, we may even do our finished basement framing before we even drop the plywood deck on it. After that, it's back up again. Once again, we're turning around, snapping everything out, making sure our dimensions are working. We're setting up our garage framing, and we build our exterior walls. Then we turn around and build our interior walls, you plumb and line. You turn around and run your floor, your ceiling system, or if you got two-story, another floor system and head on up. And then, of course, you start in with your rafter systems. Once you get your rafter systems on, you got to get all your trim on the outside, you get all your soffits in, your fascias, everything that needs to be put together in order to get the roof on and put the finishing touches on it. There's always a few specialty things. There may be a covered porch on the back of it, and so we got to be able to construct that roof. Sometimes you may be using a truss system on the roof, sometimes you use a conventional frame. And then we have our I-JOIST systems. I-JOIST systems are basically a piece of plywood between a top cord and a bottom cord. And you can actually cut pieces of the plywood out to be able to run your HVAC through there or run your plumbing through there, or electricians, but you cannot disturb that top or bottom cord. You do that, and that thing's done. We have a lot of floor trusses coming in nowadays where we run floor truss systems, and they're even designed to have a hole in the middle of them so they can run ductwork through them. And it keeps from having so many fur downs or build downs in the ceilings in the basement. These are all things that become more and more prevalent that we used to, back in the day, we just used 2x10s most of the time, or a 2x12. And if we needed more structure, we doubled them up. And we just didn't see a lot of this engineered systems. It's really allowed us to open up more spans. The design of the homes right now have a lot more open space. Basically, most of the things that I do every day, I call organized chaos. It is organized and we have an idea what we need, but it's in flux and you have to be able to adapt and you got to be able to roll. The foremen generally roll up in the site about 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of them have trailers and some of them just have toolboxes with tools. And the men are there. We don't get out and drink coffee together. We're there to go to work. When we hire a young person that is what we call green in the field, even if they have some VOTEC experience where they've learned to run a saw and possibly a gun, they have a little bit of concept of building, bottom line is you learn in the field. The beauty of my business, everybody starts on the bottom, including me. Everybody starts on the bottom and you work your way up. So this is something where you have to have a certain amount of determination to come out and be able to stick with it. It's heavy work. I don't sugarcoat that. When you're green, you're going to be packing a lot of lumber. But it's a progression. The main thing I tell them young people come to work for me observe. You're putting a puzzle together. So when that wall stood up, you can go over there and look at that wall. You can see how that header's in there. You can see how the support's underneath it. You can see how a set of stairs is performed. Does that mean you know how to do it? But no, it means you're starting to think about it. For every skill level you get to, you get more money. We want to pay people. We love to pay them because that means they're progressing. First thing you got to have is the tool bag with a hammer holder on it. Your framing hammer is generally right around 22 ounces. It has a long handle on it. Swinging the hammer is all about the fulcrum. You got to have a good 25-foot Fat Max tape or a 35-foot, depending on what you want. Cat's paw is a nail puller, utility knife, chalk line. A lot of guys will carry a chisel with them. Carpenter pencils are usually supplied by the lumber company. And then, of course, you have your nail pouch. You also got to have a tri-square. Tri-square does several things. It allows you to butt up a piece of wood and square a straight line, but it also has your pitches on it. So to explain a pitch and a run, if you have an 8-12 roof, that means that for every 12 inches traveled on that rafter, you're going to rise 8 inches. I know that if I come in 2 feet, I'm rising 16 inches. So that square allows you to put that pitch on it. So I could be running a 3 pitch, I could be running a 12 pitch, which is a true 45-degree angle. Math is absolute key. We use a lot of framing calculators anymore, but you got to be smart enough to learn how to use them. I would put up any of my foremen with any college graduate anywhere. These guys are smart. They have vision. They can see things. They understand the math. They understand the angles. They understand the geometry of everything. We really, really love our creation process and what we do. We're leaving a legacy.